This is the Views from the Shop podcast on YouTube. I'm your host, Tim Miller, and today we are previewing Ohio State's matchup with Merrimack in 6 minutes or less. So let's get into it. The Merrimack Warriors. Last season, they won the Northeast Conference Tournament, and they're now in their first year of NCAA tournament eligibility. So welcome, Merrimack. This season, they're sitting at 2-1. They lost to Vermont, an NCAA tournament team, a season ago. They beat a Division II school by many points, and then they beat Maine in a close game as well. As far as the team goes, last season, they had more games below 50 points than above 80 points. They also had 15 games below 60 points, and as of right now, they are outside the top 300 in KenPom. Let's talk about that offense that is not good. Jordan Durcock is questionable at best for this one. I haven't seen anything new on him. He had 26 points in a game already this season, and in 2 full games, he's averaged 21 points per game. He did leave their win against Maine on Sunday with a lower leg injury. No news since then. He did not return with that injury. They've also got a freshman guard named Bud Clark. He scored 10 points or more in every game this season. He's really the only creator on the team. Overall, as an offense, it's really ugly. A lot of loose balls, turnovers, throwing the ball out of bounds, dribbling the ball off their legs. That's all I'll say about that. If you listen to the podcast episode previewing this game, you'll know more about it. They average 11 assists per game. They're 21% from deep. Not good. Defensively, however, that's been their calling card. They may come out with a little 2-2-1 full court press, but the hybrid zone they run is where they really make their money. It's kind of similar to Oakland's in that they don't want the ball in the corners. They want to trap in the corners if it gets there, and they will do anything to keep the ball behind the three-point line on the wings or at the top of the key. So, that being said, it can be beat in the short corner and in the paint. They give up a really, really high field goal percentage at the rim and in the paint so far this season. So that defense really has been the best unit that they've got, but it still can be beat. Keys to the game for Ohio State. Number 1, attack the paint and the short corners. They've got Samba Diablo starting there at center for Merrimack. He plays at the bottom of this hybrid kind of 3-2, almost 4-1 zone. He's a better defender than his backup, Jacob O'Connell, but he stands at 6'7", 195. So that's like Ohio State sticking Scotty Middleton down in the paint to defend your best center or your best 5. Jacob O'Connell, he's 7 feet tall, who will spell Diablo a little bit. He plays below the rim as well in that zone, and he can certainly be scored on. The other key that Ohio State will need to focus on today, play disciplined defensively. Haven't seen it in the first 2 games. There's not a player on Merrimack's roster who could sniff a spot at Ohio State, and that's not always the case against low majors. But please, just close out. Don't leave your feet. Don't get out of position. Don't foul. Do the simple things and play a better game defensively. And lastly, force them to shoot from deep. Their shooting charts are disgusting from behind the three-point line. 21% from 3 this year. Not good. Force them to take some threes. Predictions, banger bets. So far this year, we're 2 for 3. We're 2-1. We're up 0.8 units. We took A&M money line, unfortunately. And we also took Bruce Thornton over his points in the first game against Oakland. We're doing that again. Bruce Thornton is set at 15.5 points for his prop today. He's hit that in 2 of 2 games this season. He hit that in 5 of 8 to close the year last year, and he missed one of those games by just 1 point. We're just going to keep taking it until they give us a reason not to. Zed Key, we're going to take over 11.5 points for him as well. He's hit in 1 of 2 games this year. He should be hot after eating up against Texas A&M. He scored 17, and Merrimack has been abysmal in the paint and with their post defense, so we'll take Zed Key to get 12 points or more. And then finally, I already gave this prediction out on Twitter last night. We're going to take Ohio State minus 20.5 to cover the spread. Without Durcock, I think Merrimack is really going to struggle. Their net rating drops by 43 points without him on the floor. No one else has proven they can step up offensively. Ohio State also has 2+ days of rest advantage against Merrimack. This is, again, a bounce-back game for Ohio State, so I expect the Buckeyes to win by 21 or more. Excited for this game? Make sure you subscribe to the Views from the Shop podcast and find us wherever you get your sports content. Twitter, Instagram, we're there. Go Bucks!